Alrighty, welcome to another episode of Mythic Drafting, where today we're playing day one of the Arena Open. It is sealed and we're hoping to open a sweet pool to get the win. So we've already got an interesting one here with Atraxa Praetor's Voice, Kogla Yadaro, Rampaging Raptor, Realmbreaker, Talia, Firesong and Sunspeaker, and two more rares. It's possible, I think, to open up to 12 rares, which is absolutely absurd. And the other ones, the Boonbringer Valkyrie, and also Dejuro and Hazoret. It's got a lot of green, red, and white rares here. Dejuro and Hazoret could be pretty sweet with like the Yodaro, the Talia, and the Atraxa. So it's going to be an interesting one to build. When we have like a lot of multicolored rares like that, I like to take a look at our fixing. So we have one Surveyor. We have a couple of dual lands here. Not the greatest fixing. We don't have any Blighted Burgeonings, and I can already see immediately a green looks pretty shallow. So that's not fantastic. Our white looks a lot better here, I think. Alright, the next thing to do is take a look at the white cards. So, Dune Shaper's fine, Inquisitor's fine, Gateway is fine as well. I think in Sealed it provides good versatility. Sky Warden is playable if you've got enough Incubate tokens. Billy Rider is good if you've got with some of these backup cards, which we have a fair few of. I think Tiller of Flesh is actually quite a bit better in Sealed because it's just that little bit slower. And then we've got Alabaster, Infected Defector, and Boombringer. So we've got a lot of decent white cards. Not a lot of removal here with just Cut Short and the Intercessor. So I think if we're going to pair a color with white, it needs to have removal. And then we can sort of make the creatures work around that. There's a fair few Knights as well. So the Swordsworn, the 3/1 that gets first strike actually becomes quite playable with 7 Knights. So having a look at blue, there's a Captive Weird, an Artistic Refusal, and a Dispersal. There's not really a ton more, and there's not a lot of removal. And black, I'm seeing a bit of a similar problem. We've got a Thallid and 2 Etherblade Agents, but there's no removal in black either. Red has an Artisan, Rouser Reinforcements, and the Raptor. But again, 0 removal. And then in green, we also have very little removal as well. So it looks like our pool just has absolutely no removal, apart from 2 tandem takedowns in green. So I think we effectively almost have to play green here, just because of the fact that it gives us access to removal in any form. In addition, the other option is to just play the red and play like Hazoret, but Hazoret's not even that good when we're not going to get anything with it. So the other option is to play like green white and splash these multicolored cards here, because we have the black white duel, that duel. We have the favor. We already have a little bit of fixing, so let's go ahead and lay that one down. The Realmbreaker as well is decent in terms of fixing the deck. The Yodaro could be good as well. But something like this, if we just take a look at it and lay it out, I think it's just a little bit too clunky, and we don't have like enough removal here to really make this work. It's a little bit awkward because the deck's kind of split between 2 things that it wants to do. Like, we don't have the fixing here, I don't think, to make this particular... Oh, the tap lands actually, with the favor, The tap lands potentially get us there, and we have 2 blue sources, 3, 4, 5, and then we have 4 black sources, 5, 6, 7 black sources. So that actually potentially does get there in terms of being a little bit more of a splash heavy deck. And I think potentially as well this deck is just going to want to splash Invasion of Amonkhet, which might seem absolutely insane, but the card actually is just very, very extremely strong. And if you can play it in any way, I think you just want to. So this deck has 7 knights, so I think it is fine to play this Swordsworn Cavalier. And it has enough things that give +1/+1 counters. I think Kithkin Billy Rider is fine. Invasion of Belanon, probably not what this deck wants to be doing. And then in terms of other cuts for this particular build, I think you can probably get away with 1 less land in the main. Because we've got the 2 land cyclers, Fertilized Favor, Skittering Surveyor, and the Portent Tracker. So I think we probably want to cut. It's probably going to be a white land. Because we've got so much double green. So 16 land, and then I think the last cut for this particular deck would be probably Sunder the Gateway, and then we just look to sideboard that one in. So that's a version of the deck that's like green-white with a little bit of value and beatdown, and then you're really just relying on Boombringer, Talia, Atraxa to get us through. And the Proliferate here works quite well with like Realm, Ren, Renata, and a few of the other ones, and all the backup creatures as well. So that's certainly sweet. In terms of other decks we could look at putting together, I don't think green red's going to be any good because it loses all the strong white cards. I think we have to play white in this pool. And then like black red potentially is there, but it's just not deep enough. And then I think as well we could take a look at white red. So let's take a look at white red in a second, and then I'll come back to you. So this is the white red deck. I mean, I haven't changed the lands here, but it just doesn't have enough playables, and we don't really have any equipment for this. It's not quite aggressive enough. I just think it lacks the power level needed in this format by cutting the Talia, the Atraxa, and the Ren, and the double tandem takedown, and not really getting any more removal. And Firesong and Sunspeaker isn't even good if you don't have the right cards for it. And Dejura and Hazoret is fine if it can fetch like 2 creatures here, but they're not even that good as Rav. There's nothing for Rav in this deck. So I think we're going to run with the multicolored deck as per usual for me and sealed, but I think it's the best option for us here in a pool that's just a little bit awkward in that the colors in the rares are sort of a bit all over the place, and that's the pool that maximizes them the most. Alrighty, so this is the final deck. Running this one, and I'll see you guys for game number 1. Alrighty, game number 1 here. Bit of an awkward one, but we're on the draw. We're going to keep it with the Portent Tracker, and we've just got to hope that we hit a white land or a blue land, to be honest, and we can get down Talia if we can on turn 3 if we hit the white land. If not, we're potentially a little bit screwed, but opponent took a mulligan, so hopefully they don't come off on a really fast start. They're going to see one of the most awkward hands of all time. They should probably take Portent Tracker here, but it really just messes with us if they do. But I think they're also going to be tempted to just take Talia so that we can't cast that. Take the Talia. I mean, now if we just draw like any of our lands here, we're really just on a battle here of who's going to hit a land first, with the opponent not hitting lands either. We're going to have to pitch next turn if we don't hit, but I mean, now if we hit, we can get Escort to get Portent Tracker back. Wow, opponent is getting extremely unlucky here. They took a mulligan and pretty land screwed, so we'll go ahead and run out Renata. Power's equal to the devotion to green. Blooded Process is a good one for them. But yeah, okay, so now we can just go ahead and I think we just slam Talia here. No attacks with Renata, but Talia's going to be absolutely absurd here. And Ica Drinker is just not going to do it. Because now we can just like sacrifice forest, start drawing extra lands. Double tandem takedown in hand. Sack a land. And then I think we just run out the Infected Defector here. Next turn we can play Boombringer Valkyrie and whack it on Defector or on Talia. Opponent got super unlucky with that draw there. I think, you know, any other decent draw and we just get absolutely punished, but it's tough for opponent in that situation. I mean, they know as well that we have Wildwood Escort to get that back. But now I think we just want to try and close this one out here. I think we just put the counter on this. There's an argument to putting it on Renata to get in with Renata as well, but this just hits them for 6. They can't block it, whereas otherwise, if we did put it on Renata, they could double block here and kill that, and then Renata's left behind. But now I have a 5/5 flight anyway. The 6/5 they still can't really deal with. And yeah, I think now we can just Alabaster out the Bloated Processor here. Prevent them from getting the extra token. And just get in. They're going to chump. Get that little incubate token, but it's going to be tough for them here when we've got Tandem Takedown in hand. And if we draw land, we get to go Tiller of Flesh and Takedown. Breach is certainly one of the cards that can get them back here. I mean, Atraxa is... They're going to get our Atraxa here. It's something that they milled. So what did they mill? So they can get Aurelia the War Leader. Interesting. I think we still probably win here. Oh, Boombringer Valkyrie and Aurelia the War Leader. Wow. So they get to hit us. They gain a bunch of life here. Alright, so game on. So we just need to tandem takedown here. And I think we just take down the Aurelia because it means we can attack in. And like if they attack with Boombringer Valkyrie, they leave themselves pretty close to just dead on the crackback, even though they gain 4. So they go to 5. They go to 4 if we have anything. And now we can just tandem take down next turn. Anyway, again. But Breach the Multiverse, I mean, that card is just absolutely insane. We had that game like really, really locked up, and it just didn't matter. It almost didn't matter just because of how strong Breach is. So now we go ahead and Tiller of Flesh. And then we just take down the Javelineer. And because they attacked, which like they probably, I don't know if they should or shouldn't there, but clears the way for us. Get the first win, and I'll see you guys for game number 2. Alrighty, game number 2 here. This hand's definitely a keep. We've got the Forest Cycling here, the Skittering Surveyor, and Ren. So we can... Got all our fixing. I think we just... We'll see what they play here, but I think it's pretty likely we just want to hold the Ancient, because it's going to be a pretty good top-end filler for us here. Yeah, so I think against the Blade Agent, I'm pretty happy to just run out Skittering Surveyor. And now, given we drew Talia, I mean, that just looks fantastic, because we can go ahead and get a Swamp here. Have that one up. And now next we can play Talia. Or we can just play Knight of the New Coalition. We'll see what they play. So I haven't played anything here. It's possible they have Annihilate Essence. in which case like playing Talia is really bad. So I think we just want to run out Knight of the New Coalition here. They don't have anything now, we know, because Arena didn't give them the option. So we just, like, we can know now we can play Talia next turn pretty safely. Now if they go ahead and flip this, we can just trade a Knight and the 1-2 pretty happily for it. I like this card quite a bit, but it's just awkward in that it's like 6 mana to get a 3/3 Death Touch, and if they have any ways to like interact with it or kill it, it's really bad. Another option for us as well next turn is to Sigiled Sentinel and make a 3/3 Vigilance, but I don't think we need to do that given the current board state, and Talia is just so strong and will allow us to just absolutely go off if we're making all their creatures into tapped. It attacks really well. We can start setting up Ren. And trading our lands for additional cards, and then now we get to just like eat this. Like, pretty happy with that there. We leave behind like we got the land from Surveyor, we get the 2/2 here, and now we can go ahead and just slam Talia. Talia also just works so well with Ren because you sacrifice the lands and then we can like mill 3 cards and we can just keep getting lands, keep playing them with Talia. We're going to get to attack for free this turn because, or we're not going to, because they have the kill for Talia. But that's fine. Oh, as well, we can't actually play... Silly me, we can't play Ren because we don't have 2 forests. So, ignore me. If we draw forest, we can play... So I think this turn... Let's just go ahead and... Like, we could just play the Golden Scale Aeronaut onto this and bash. I think that's actually fine. We just want to maximize our mana. The other option is to just start getting the Ren online, but right now, like, we're putting pressure on opponent, and the more pressure they're under when we play Ren, the more value we can generate out of it, because they're going to have to like keep creatures back in order to attack, in order to stop our attacks. So I mean, it's very likely that they have something here. They surveilled the Invasion of Dominaria and the Phyrexian Gargantua into the bin, so I think they're looking for lands, which makes me think that they have Breach, because there's not many cards you would want over Phyrexian Gargantua in this spot, you know, facing down this board. Chrome Host Sea Shark, really nice one. Probably got like the thing that kills something with power 3 or less in hand. Probably going to kill that. Realm Breaker's Grasp, good one. So now I think we just have to go ahead and slam Timberland Ancient here. Just got to try and find a way to close this game out. The Sea Shark's going to make that really tough. We don't have a way to really interact with that at all. Boombringer Valkyrie would be probably the best draw for us here. Alabaster Host, Intercessor as well would be good. Any of our tandem takedowns, any of our removal spells really to clear the way for our attackers here would be very strong. Freewheeler, I'm fine with seeing. What did it mill for them? So they milled Archpriest, and for us, Norns Inquisitor. So Alabaster here. I think if they have a trick, we want it to come. So what are they splashing? They're splashing blue for the Sea Shark. So let's go ahead and just attack here. And the reason for this, I want to see if they've got some kind of trick here. Also, I'm just pretty happy to trade the Timberland Ancient for the Sea Shark. And if they double block like this for the 2/2 and the Free Willer here, I'm happy to trade for those as well. So I think they don't realise that that has... Okay. So maybe we should have just... Yeah. Potentially should have just done that first, but I'm not that concerned with the 1/1. The 1/1 token's fine, and having that gone is fantastic. Drona and Vala, obviously a massive problem. Flying Vigilance, very strong. But we can play Random Realm Breaker and then Vigilance at Aeronaut. They can get Norns Inquisitor. Renata Call to Hunt is interesting here. But I think we just want to probably just slam Ren here. Go ahead and mill. And we get... So can they... They've got no cards in hand. If we played Sigil Sentinel, we can block everything except if they flip this. They're going to be able to get in with the 4/5. So I think it actually makes sense here to go ahead and get the Escort as opposed to Invasion, because we can't cast the Invasion here if they kill Ren. Yeah, so I think we just go and get Escort. A little bit awkward, but I think it makes sense on the current board, because if they flip this and then they can attack with it, and we don't really like have a great way to block, because it would result in our host Intercessor getting killed, which we just don't want. So, and this allows us to get Talia back as well, which is going to be pretty sweet. So they're going to flip here. I think they get Norns Inquisitor, or they get their Etherblade Agent back, and then they're going to probably bash, and I think we'll give them the 3/4 flyer in exchange for it if they just attack with that. I think we're probably going to have to let Ren die. Just depends on how they attack here. They've also got to worry about dying, so there is that. They get the Inquisitor. Now they have to worry less about dying. Also probably should have held that 1/1 token if they were going to do that. See how they attack here. It's just Drana coming in. They should attack with both, I think. So Drana's attacking us. So I think we want to keep Ren for one more turn, because it allows us to get another card in the yard. We only lose a 3/4 here. And we get to get another creature. So think here, we need to just minus Ren. We don't need the black. And this allows us to play 2 spells this turn. So I think we can go ahead and just... We can actually just chomping Kavu. Or we can just Renata. I think we just Renata and Kithkin Billy Rider. This way it becomes a 2/4, and then we can make it a 3/5 that can't be blocked by creatures with 2 power or less. So they're going to have to chump that. It's going to take them a while for them to kill us with Drana and Limbala, so I think we can go wide here. It's potential we should have just cast Wildwood Escort to turn on Talia as soon as possible. But if we do draw an island, we are going to be able to Invasion of Amonkhet. So Tile Terror is a pretty big problem. So I think we go ahead and escort here. Go ahead and get back. I think we need Talia here. Don't have any attacks. The Tidal Terror is just so good here, but if they attack with it, I mean, they have to like basically tap the whole board out. So it's pretty risky as well. So I don't actually know if they can attack with it, yeah. I mean, now we just dunk Talia down. Dunk Chomping Kavu down. I think we put the counter on Kithkin Billy Rider. Just get in. The only like creature they can really block with is the Tidal Terror. I mean, they can chump. I mean, they can chump with the 3/3, but wow, I would not make that trade. I think might be better to just chump there, but now we've got like really good attacks. They've got something for this, yeah, okay. So they've got something for Talia, but we still get all the passive benefits of it. They get in with the 3/4, but we're going to get in with the like a lot of. Oh man, if we had an island for Atraxa, it would just be absurd here. But I think we can get in with all of our big powered dudes. And just start, we need to start putting the pressure on, otherwise like we're just going to lose to Drana and Limbala. So they're going to block there with Renata. Then they can chump the Escort. They can't chump the Kavu. So if they want to kill Kavu, they have to like block it with the Drana and the 3/3. And if at any point we draw Island, I mean, Atraxa Praetor's Voice would just be so good for us here. Tough spot for the opponent, I think. I mean, so now they've got 2 blocks they can block. Here and here. And they take 5. Skywarden. So I think we can just swing out. I just don't want this to die. Because the 4/4 is getting through unless they block with Drana. So then if any other creature gets through, they're just dead. So if we attack like this, we can double block there, they're dead. They can block and chump, they go to 1. Or they can like double block here. I think this is fine. I just don't think they have many blocks here. I think if they had removal, they probably would have played it. And now they die. Talia's like passive ability of tapping creatures is just so effective in a race like this. So yeah, if they double block here, they're dead because we attacked with everybody. So I think putting them on nothing here is sort of one of the ways here. And if they've got something, yeah, okay. So now we just play Dismal Backwater. We've got Atraxa next turn if they like somehow have a Wrath or something. But I think that should probably do it. Oracle of Half-Truths. Interesting one. So they got Wicked Slumber. So Wicked Slumber, tap 2 creatures. So it taps 2. But then we still just get in and kill them. So I think that's fine. If they can only cast one of these, so that's also fine. They'll probably take the face down card, I think. Yeah, and then we just... Yeah, so they had nothing in hand. I think we wouldn't get the win here because they'll tap down 2 and then they have 1 blocker. Atraxa is just going to steal this game anyway. Really, really close, complicated game, but we got there in the end, and I'll see you for game number 3. Alrighty, game number 3 here on the draw. This hand's definitely a keep. We've got Tracker into Knight, into turn 4 Golden Scale Aeronaut with Tandem Takedown. Invasion of Amonkhet. Bit of an awkward one. Not sure if we should really be playing it, but it's just such a powerful card. I think in Sealed it's slow enough that we can potentially get away with it. Between Fertilid's Favour, Surveyor, and the tap land, I think we have enough sources to make this the upside of this good enough. Opponent, I think probably has a Land Cycler, given that they've paused here. Not sure what else. Like it could be Sun of the Gateway, maybe a Land Cycler, like a removal spell wouldn't be slowing on them down yet, and the counter spell as well wouldn't stop unless we've cast a spell. So just gonna go ahead and run out Tracker here. Probably just a Land Cycler, I think, if they're thinking about whether or not they want to. No, Moment of Truth. Okay, that's fine. Definitely gets a little bit better in Sealed, I think. Helps you find your powerful cards, helps you smooth your draws. Can be pretty good, I think, in the like slower blue decks in Sealed. Some of these cards as well you should be thinking about, like if you're putting just a random 2-drop in your deck, like a 2-mana 2/2 for example, like Dreg Recycler with no synergies in Sealed. Sometimes in Sealed it actually is better to play a card like Moment of Truth because it's just so much better in the late game. So now we really want to kill this Strobe Knight. And I think we're actually going to go ahead and just run out Tiller of Flesh, because it means we can kill the Strobe Knight next turn. If we draw a land, we can go kill this, get an Incubate token and incubate it, which is pretty good. And then we just hope they don't have like a 2 spells this turn to get the value out of it before we can manage to take it down. Stasis Field, probably going to get the value out of it right now. So yeah, they get to get the value. Sweet for them. Maybe it was better to play the Knight there. Town Takedown as well does allow us to just kill the battle. So I think now, I wonder if we're meant to like block and Fertilid's Favour. It just seems it seems like we get blown out so much of the time if we make a risky play like that. Because we could Fertilid's Favour there, like block here, Fertilid's Favour, get the 2 tokens, get the blue source, next turn play the invasion, Tandem Takedown it. That's just so risky. Not worth it there, I think. I think we can just play the Knight. Like we've got enough cards in our hand here, I think that we can hold out. Pretty happy to just trade off here. I think they would, like, if we play the invasion, they're just going to trade there. There's no point us taking the 2 life. Opponent has Thunderhead Squadron. Certainly a good one. We're going to go ahead and slam our Talia here while they're tapped out. Talia's going to be pretty good on this board. It's going to allow us to take down the 3-4. And also we just really need to start hitting lands. So now like Talia can sack the tiller and we can get extra shots at drawing our lands. They're probably going to have removal for it. Or they're just reading it. Another Stasis Field. Wow. Sick from opponent. He has for 5 here. So now, haven't drawn the land we need again. I think we really just need to get land down. So I'm going to just get in here with the knight and see if they like block. And go for something. So I really just want to play Fertile his favour and go ahead and get an island. The question is, do I want to do that now? I think we do. Yeah, I think we do want to do that now. Just while they're like more tapped out, they don't have blue to like bounce. They can have like cut short, but it has vigilance. So I'm gonna get our land. And then just pray they don't have anything here. Okay, so we can get blue here because we've got double white already, and Port and Track gives us double green. And now next turn, like we can go Boombringer Valkyrie on this 5/5 flying first strike, lifelink vigilance, and then the turn after we can play Invasion of Amonkhet. Just don't know what opponent has here. I think maybe cut short. And they have like cut short. They might have Angelic Intervention. They certainly look to have something. But the vigilance is really good against cut short if that's what they do have. Like maybe I think they like should have cut short the pawn tracker, but I don't know, they're just gonna be getting in here. Do they have another spell here? Certainly gonna be interesting if they do. They don't have anything there. So we just have to slam the Valkyrie here and pray they don't have like Annihilate Essence. If they do, I don't think there's much we can do. Like we can't play Tandem Takedown this turn, so we just got to pray they don't have the Essence here. They don't have it, so we just slam it. Now, I think they probably have cut short. But Boombringer Valkyrie works so well on this board because it blocks all of their flyers. They've already used 2 Stasis Fields. And this can only become a 5/4, so it actually just blocks everything they have. If they go ahead and like flip Tark here, Dune Shaper, because they have nothing else this turn. So Alabaster Host Intercessor is a good one. So they get in. But now we get to go ahead and start with the invasion. To get their last card out of their hand. And what we're going to do then is we're going to tandem take down the Alabaster Host Intercessor to get back the Boonbringer Valkyrie. Wow, so they did have Cut Short in their hand. They have Elspeth as well. So now tap this down, untap this. So my read of the Cut Short was right. So we get these two. I'm going to go ahead and we could actually just, we could just take down the battle to get the Alabaster Host Intercessor ourselves. But I think the threat of just flipping the battle itself is going to be enough. We can do that anyway. So I think, and it's better to just take this off the battlefield, because if we Alabaster Host Intercessor it and then they like draw something to kill it ourselves, then they just get to destroy us. So now I'm going to go ahead and try and take this one down again. They probably have to block with the 2/2 here. They don't. And the opponent's just seen the writing on the wall. That was another sweet one, and I'll see you for the next one. Alrighty, game number 4. Another keep here. Definitely need to draw a forest at some point, but Cavalier into Sigil Sentinel, definitely not the card we wanted to draw there. But if we do draw actually the forest for Ren, we can actually cast this as long as they don't kill Ren. So, don't want to draw any more planes, but Cavalier into Sigil Sentinel is absolutely like a fine 2-3 play. Much better on the play than the draw, but still decent here. Depending on what they play, we'll see how they're probably going to kill this. Yeah, okay. So they take down the Grasp. Kithkin Billy Rider's going to come out now instead, because putting the counter on that is just much better as the double striker. Opponents on white-red. Not playing anything so far. That could be a sign that they have Sunfall, but I think if they had Sunfall, they probably wouldn't have done this. So let's go ahead and just bash. It doesn't look like they have anything here. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Get our second green source. And wow, that is a very, very quick win. And I'll see you for the next one. Alrighty. Game number 5 and a very interesting hand after a very quick game last time. I think this hand just does absolutely nothing so much of the time. We have our colours except for white. We can't play Ren. We don't have any, can't play Takedown. It's just too risky that we don't do anything. I think we just have to mulligan that hand. Don't get much of a better hand here, but I think we keep this 6 over going to 5. I think we just bin the Cut Short. If we draw planes, we're on for a pretty sick curve out. We're not guaranteed to cast the Cut Short anyway, and so I think that makes sense to me. But like with this draw, it's like hard to know. We really just want to hit planes here now. Renata's fine. We just need to draw land now. Hope they don't have some like crazy backup start here. Xeric Strobe Knight, obviously, insane one for them. But if we can draw some planes, I mean, just land is fine as well. Renata is going to make this a 4-4 on its own. This can then be also a 4-4, and it's pretty good. But they're probably going to have some interaction here. I would expect. Probably put that on the Alabaster. Yeah, okay, wow. That's a pretty good start from the opponent. It's going to be tough for us here. They're going to get to make a 3-3 as well because of Marshal of Zalfir. We're going to need to hit planes, I think, to have any hope. Don't hit it. So now I think we just put this on there. We can't really afford to attack in case they have any removal. So we've got the ground covered up now. They should probably move the Halberd onto the Knight. Unless they want to like tap down. Even if they tap down one. Wow, they're just going off here. So get us for 4. If we just draw planes here, we're potentially in this. I mean, actually, no, we're just dead next turn. Okay, so we're just dead. This one's done almost as quickly as it was for our last opponent for us, and I'll see you for game number 6. Alrighty, on to game number 6. Another awkward hand here. If we draw 1 planes, this hand's amazing. I think I'm willing to risk it here. There's the planes. Wow, that's just very, very lucky there. But I think when you're on the draw, it's a lot easier to risk it when you've got a card like Port and Tracker as well. It just allows you to just take that little bit more of a risk. Now I can run out the Tracker, run out Billy Rider, and then play the Valkyrie on turn 4. Or the Aeronaut into the Valkyrie if we want. Especially when they've like played Expedition Lookout, we know they're not really going to be pressuring us. We can take the time to set up. They might have a removal spell here and they just, yeah, go ahead and bounce that. So I think we just want to put that on the bottom now. We don't want to draw that on turn 4. It's just a little bit too awkward. Instead we just run out the Billy Rider. Some argument there to just run out the Cavalier and the land. Potentially was the better play, but opponent's not doing anything absurd here, so go ahead and play Swordsworn Cavalier. Ship the turn. Because now, like next turn, we can go Aeronaut if we draw a land onto the Billy Rider. They've only got 3 cards in hand, and we have cut short. So if they attack here, I think we just cut short this. Actually, no, I think we just let that through. We can afford to take 3 here, and next turn we can play Tiller of Flesh and get the value out of it. And they might have a bigger, more expensive card that we're more concerned with. Not really concerned with Printing Champion, but I think now actually we just want to maximize our mana. The extra, like the 2/2 on this board just isn't that relevant given they have the Expedition Lookout, and taking out Rona is like pretty relevant, I think. And now we can just play this, put it on the Billy Rider. This doesn't have first strike, so we just attack like this. And if we draw planes, we're just absolutely on here, but we're still going to be beating down pretty efficiently and certainly winning the race here, I think. So Skittering Surveyor is good. I think that just means I'm just going to run out, just attack with the 2/3. Don't want to give them, you know, a way to kill Billy Rider there. So the Hexproof, that's a good one. But they've effectively just traded the 0/1 there, I think, for the Aeronaut, and they stick around the 3/3. So that, I mean, it is good for sure, but I think now, given we can play Valkyrie onto the Kithkin, it's going to be pretty tough for them to beat that. That deck's obviously this is sort of one of the things that you can do in this sealed format as well, if you have the pool for it, is you can put together a pretty low curve like blue deck with tempo, with Temporal Cleansing, Farah's Dispersal. The last deck we played as well, the Blue White Knights deck with the Convoke, can quickly convoke out an aggressive start. There's not really a lot you can do against it if you have a slow start. The same thing with this deck is true. So they can go ahead and get cleansing here. I think is what they'll probably do. Or Final Flourish, potentially. Probably Final Flourish, I think, is better for them. They need like hard removal. I certainly would prefer them to get cleansing, given we're going to be Valkyrie. Because now we get to just Valkyrie onto the Billy Rider, hit them for 6. And then like they can cleansing the Valkyrie. Or they can cleansing the Billy Rider, but if they had the Final Flourish, they just get to kill it, which is way, way worse for us. And then next turn we can chomp in Kavu on whichever one they leave behind, and they won't be able to block it. So like, yeah, if they are cleansing, okay, cleansing the Billy Rider here. I think I don't love the Billy Rider on this board without the tokens, so go ahead and put it on the bottom. They don't have any attacks this turn because of the Valkyrie. And that's where like Final Flourish is just a lot better than... A lot better. Because now we can go ahead and just whack them with the Boonbringer. They don't have any blocks. Go ahead and... I think we just want to hold... the Wildwood. I think we just want to play Tiller of Flesh here. And just... Because if they kill the Boonbringer somehow, Wildwood can get it back. And now next turn we could like put... Ronan Sheldon's Faithful is just not doing it on this board, so... Like if they're trying to race or something... We can just put Chomping Kavu. Put it on the Knight, force them to trade something more relevant for the Knight this turn. Like they have to block with Rhino or Halo Charge Scarb here. We'll just take out the Scarb. We're on 30. They're going to have to chump next turn. Basically get 2 draw steps to exile the Boonbringer, and the uncommon that's cost 6 to exile, or they can't cast it, so they have to like draw land and that to do that. Halo Forager, probably one of the better ones they could draw. They get to Final Flourish, take out Boonbringer, and that was really lucky we held the Wildwood Escort here, because now we can go ahead and get it back, and that's massive for us. So like now they're going to get on the aggro, I think, in the air. Oh, they're not. Okay. We'll just go ahead and get Boonbringer back. Keep the land in hand in case they have discard, and then just ship the turn. We'll just go ahead and slam the Boonbringer. Put it on the Kavu. And then just get in. They have to like, I think they don't have to double block. They'll probably just chump here. Certainly awkward for them though, because like they're going to have to chump the Boonbringer next turn, so they can't really like double block. I don't know what their last card is, but very, very tough spot. Timur as well, they can like gain life, so there's potential that they just exile. I mean, they should have actually been exiling with Timuret to stop us from Boonbringering, but they... The turn they did the Forager, they had to tap out. So now they've gained a bunch of life, but going to 3 there doesn't seem great. Still gonna have to chump or leave mana up for Timuret. But they're leaving themselves with like a lot more outs here. Like Stasis Field. Still awkward for them like to attack here. So now I don't really have any attacks. Because they can block with like Halo Forager. They can block with Rona and Halo Forager on our 4-4. So then we just have to say go. And now we just like have to wait to draw like a Traxxar or draw Talia or Alabaster Host. Intercessor would be a good one here because it would mean we could get rid of the Rona, and then Chomping Carver is a real problem. So we've got a lot of good draws here. Opponent has no cards in hand. They're just going to have to start milling their own graveyard. It also means they never get to turn on their Expedition Lookout. We've got 20 cards. We've got 7 lands in hand, in play, 2 in hand. So we've got 7 lands in the deck. So 2/3 of our deck should be spells here. So hit the land. So we're just at this stalemate now, and really we're just going to be seeing who can top deck better. Opponent has drawn 7 lands themselves. 9 lands in total. So they as well will be... can't see how many cards. They've got 20 lands. So they should probably have 8. So they should probably have like more chance of hitting land than we do. It's probably a land, I think, if they're not playing it. Or a removal spell or some form of interaction. Maybe like the worst case scenario for us would be if they draw Artistic Refusal. They have that in their deck. That's like terrible for us. We're just going to keep hitting lands, and if we do, we're probably going to lose this one. Invasion of Amonkhet would be fine to get that last card out, but I think Atraxa, Talia is probably like the best because it's so hard to just deal with Talia in combat. So they're getting in now, which means they've drawn something. Or they've realised like they've got to start. Wow, just land after land. So we've drawn 10 land, 12 lands. So there's 4 lands left in the deck, 17 cards. So we should have a like less than a quarter chance of drawing land from here on out. We could have traded Carver there for the Printing Champion, but I just don't know if that's worth it. Oh man, Breach. Breach is just probably going to win in the game here. They're going to get out Talia. Yeah, I mean, we're just done now. Like, Knight, Talia. These cards all would have been really sweet. But cards just unbeatable and sealed. Really unlucky, I think. Yeah, and they get to put Breach back on top. Probably just win the game. Invasion and Traxxar. Unlucky there to hit like 3 lands in a row. Not much we can really do for that one. Because now like opponent's going to get to draw a Breach, mill us again, and then we'll just like tap a dial and we draw out. So I think it's probably a good game. I just see what we draw. I don't really think there's a way for us to win this one. I think we got a little bit unlucky with the ways like they managed to rip multiple times to just deal with the Valkyrie. But there's not much you can do about that in this format. Ren. Let's just go ahead and see if Ren can hit anything here to be sure. Renata, not going to do it. Good game to the opponent. They get to double breach us out, win from there. And that's 2 losses now. So we're currently sitting at... I think it's 4-2. So I think we need to rip 3 straight. So we need to rip 3 straight in order to qualify. Join me for the next one where we try and do that. Alrighty, before we dive into game number 7, Just made a few quick changes. I've taken out the Atraxa and the Invasion of Amonkhet and just left it more of a green-white build with the single splash for Talia. I think it was probably a little bit greedy. We got a little bit lucky in the early games, but we want to have a bit of a tighter deck for this next game. So with that done, I'll see you for game number 7. Obviously now as well that we've done this, we really want to be on the play to optimize that. Of course, our opponent is on the play here. That's fine. This is definitely a capable hand. We've got all our colours. We can go Tracker into turn 3 Knight, into the Swordsworn Cavalier. A little bit awkward that we don't get to go like Cavalier and attack with this, but the fact that we get, you know, all those 2/2s into play on turn 3 is definitely worth it. And if they have the counterspell here, then we can... So they've got the Fairy Mastermind. It's a great one, but we can go Knight into Cavalier here. So now, next turn as well, I think we're going to be able to go play Swordsworn Cavalier and play Cut Short because of the Vigilance and take out the Fairy Mastermind most likely, which is just going to be very efficient turn, and as long as we draw something after, should be pretty good. And they're going, if they go all in on the flyer here, hopefully, because we can trade the Cavalier for the Carvu here, so that's fine. Valkyrie is a very interesting one, because we could play... We can play the Cavalier and then cut short this. We can just slam Valkyrie. I think it actually just makes sense to slam the Valkyrie here, and then next turn we can do the cut short play. The only thing is that they won't attack with this, and we may not actually get the chance to do that. So I think actually we're just going to cut short here and play the Cavalier. And then, yeah. And then we just do the Valkyrie next turn. And that's fine. Because if we play the Valkyrie, they just can't attack with anything, and then this 4/3 flyer that draws them cards and can get them back in the game is still on the battlefield, whereas now we get to go, you know, Boonbringer Valkyrie onto the Knight of the New Coalition, attack with the Cavalier and the Knight, and then have the 4/4 flying first strike lifelinker to follow up with. Yeah, I like that line a lot better. So, I mean, obviously they green blue, they could have a lot here still, but they sort of put a lot of their resources onto this Mastermind. Like, they put the both backup counters on, and our cards actually trade pretty well into them. Obviously we can't really attack into it that much well, but... So I wonder what they have here. Temporal Cleansing. I think we can just bottom that. We have better cards in our deck than that one, and that's fantastic for us now. Like, they obviously feel like they're the aggressor there, which is like very natural, obviously, because of the board state. But that's why Boonbringer Valkyrie is just such a powerful card, because it promotes people attacking like that and creating a situation in which you can just swing the game so quickly. Now, like, if they have Dispersal here, they can disperse the Knight, but even if they disperse the Knight, we just get to play it again and get another 2/2 body, so it doesn't really work for them, which is part of the reason why you put the counter on the non-token there. I think they definitely have Dispersal here. It's the only card that really, like, gives you pause. And, like, you know, if they Dispersal here or attack us, they can't attack us, so they, like, potentially have to let this through and maybe, like, Dispersal us back, but then we just get to keep playing the Valkyrie for value, and that doesn't really work for the opponent either. Yeah, I think they're just thinking it through. 30-minute clocks is just a ridiculous clock for a one-game match. But yeah, dispersal here. And that's fine. Like, we got to... I mean, it actually just doesn't really matter too much unless they have an answer for the Valkyrie. But let's put another dispersal in the bin there. I wonder, like... So probably got the counter spell here. Just go ahead and... I wonder if they've got... If they've got the reach spell, I think we just... There's not really much we can do. That doesn't look like they have it. There's the card that gives reach and... the card that gives reach and untaps. And I think they're... You know, it's such a niche card, one of, that we just let them have that. Probably could have seen the artistic refusal there. I thought it might have been a counterspell, but... And maybe there's a case then to play this first, rather than let them get that one off, but... And then get the extra 2 points of damage in, or even 3 points. So the Sandstalker Moloch goes in, we'll get the 4-3 down. They still need to find a way to deal with Valkyrie, which in green blue is pretty difficult, other than like Stasis Field. But yeah, potentially should have just passed a turn there. But now we can flip a Dune Shaper this turn. They might have like Cosmic Hunger here. But no, if they have Cosmic Hunger, they would have just killed the Valkyrie. So I'm not sure what they have potentially here. Got a lot of interaction for green-blue. Probably going to have to play something here. I think they've probably got Cosmic... Yeah, Tandem Takedown, so... Get to make that trade. Yeah, so now I think we can just probably just activate the Dune Shaper and start getting in. They're just going to have to trade something for it here. And if they trade the Death Toucher, yeah. So now that this thing can't block the Kavu, I was hoping, I think it's better for them to trade the Death Toucher for the Dune Shaper and take the extra damage, just because. But then it's probably difficult for them to know that Chomping Kavu is a possibility there. But now the Kavu can give this back up, or just back itself up, I think is probably best. And then start attacking with these two creatures as well. And if at any point we draw Talia or like Wildwood Escort, we're just pretty on here. They could have, yeah, I was going to say the 6-5, which is obviously very good here. So now we just run out the Kavu, put it on itself. No, I think we can just play Sigil Sentinel and put the counter on to make a 5-5 as well. Now, like, we can attack with this, or we can just trade. And then, if we trade, we pretty comfortably dominate the board. I think they've probably got lands in hand. Opponent's deck's really good. I mean, they don't have anything insane that we've seen so far, but Double Dispersal, Artistic Refusal, Tandem Takedown, Sandstalker Moloch, like, some very, very like solid, efficient cards which in sealed can really help when your deck looks more or plays more like a draft deck than your opponent's decks. Like, a lot of the time, sealed decks are pretty clunky. So Tidal Terror. So going to need to draw something here in order to get this one across the line. Opponent can attack with Tidal Terror doesn't work out for them that well. Renata's pretty good one. It's just another body. We just want to keep putting bodies on the battlefield, you know, at a higher pace than our opponent. And ideally draw one of our 2 tandem takedowns to kill the Tidal Terror. And start getting in. Ren also would be very good here. Because like now... Infected Defector. It's fine. Yeah, it's just like a little bit awkward because none of our creatures can get through this Tidal Terror. So, like right now I can swing out, we only do 5. So we just need to wait until we draw something to deal with this, and then we'll be able to attack with the Defector and the Kavu, and the opponent will be in a pretty big spot of bother. Also, just if we draw Talia and the Gitrog monster. Okay, so Fertilid's Favor. That's a really good one. I think we can just comfortably just attack with the Kavu and the Defector. And whichever one they block with the Tidal Terror, we can pump it. Obviously they could have something here and blow us out, but I think we just have to go for it. Like, they're probably going to block with the 2-1 here, but that's fine. Also gets a land out of our deck, so... Got double takedown. Ran is good, Talia is good, Wildwood Escort's good, and Intercessor is good. So we have a lot of very good draws. And it looks like we're going to get to damage. Yeah, okay. So that's sweet for us. Got the Incubate token as well. Just ship the turn. Nothing in green-blue can really punish us for like flooding the board out. Just going to be able to get in. Oh, that's a really nice one for them. I mean, they still have to double block, but it does mean they get to trade one. If we draw like any of our tandem takedowns, the consideration here is okay. So Aeronaught can become a 4/5, or we can make this an 8/8. If we attack with everyone, 7, they block these 2. They take 12, unless we put it on like the 3/3, and then they take like that. If they double block, they would take 10/13. So I actually think we can swing out here if we just play it, put it on this, and attack with everybody. Because even if they try and eat our 2 creatures, they just take 13. So they kind of, and if they double block here, then they die as well. So it forces them in a situation where I think they have to chump the Kavu. And from before, they didn't have anything when we made the Fertilid's Favor play, and so I think it's unlikely they've got something here. We still have enough creatures on the battlefield that this, like, even if they eat 2, kill 1, we're still not out of the game entirely. And the card they can have here is probably like Afara's Dispersal, but I think they're probably just thinking about how they can block. I don't know if there's any great blocks here. They can like block the Kavu, block Renata. Okay, Cyber Cryptomancer is great because they get to, now they can trade for the Kavu, eat Renata, chump something probably. Yeah, so that's... So I think here they still should probably trade and eat Renata, because now they're at 3 and we have 3 lethal attackers and 2 attackers. So they need way more blockers than they have. Yeah, so they're still dead on board here, I think. We can just, I think we just have to swing out here and pray that their last card's a dead card. Yep. The attack was a little bit awkward after that, but I think it was still the right line to get us the victory there, and I'll see you for the next one. Game number 8 here. We're on the play, and this hand is a keep with all of our colours. It's a little awkward in that we don't have a 2 or a 3 drop, but on the play, I think it's a fine hand. Definitely not the card we want to see them lead with, but Kid Billy Rider's certainly a good one there. There is a question here as to if we just take the Timberland Ancient, and I think we just want to lock in being able to cast all our spells, and we can Wildwood escort it back. If we don't draw a land there, it's really bad for us, and we can always just get it back with the escort, and just want to make sure that we can cast all of our spells this turn. Of course, if we run out all of the lands, we can just go Tiller of Flesh, and opponent's on a bit of a slow hand here, and we're going to be able to play Aeronaut on the Billy Rider. Pretty slow draw from the opponent. I think, however, we just want to run out the escort to get back the Timberland Ancient. Ancient's going to be pretty good on this board. Yeah, so I think we just get in with the team here. And then we can just escort back the Ancient and play that next turn. Opponent basically has to leave the 2 mana up for this 5/5 now. Or they can like get aggressive themselves, but it's awkward because they can't flip the Dune Shaper and bash here and flip this. So yeah, I don't love that line from the opponent. Because like now we can... So we can actually Aeronaut here, hit them for 4, force the trade here, and then have the 2/5, or we can play the Ancient, force the trade, and then hit them for 7 next turn. I think I like just diversifying the threats here a bit. I'm just getting the counter on the Billy Rider, getting the damage through and forcing them to trade. Oh, they're going to chump there. I think that's pretty good for us. We like don't really care too much about the 4/3. I would love to get, and having the extra creatures on the board to go wide is good. Okay, so I think they probably have Sunfall here, given that they're attacking. Maybe should have been expected, given that they have the, given that they chumped, and given they didn't flip there, and that sort of explains their line a little bit. Inga Rune Eyes is a super solid one. I think really our out here is just Boonbringer Valkyrie is probably our only real way of winning this game. But Sunfall is just such a busted card. Like, we can't really do very much. If opponent wants to attack here, it's pretty aggressive. Definitely not going to block. We can just... See, that was definitely an interesting line, given the opponent is on very little. We're going to get to hit them for 4, even if they block here. I've got a 7 mana Trampler. They don't draw. We get to Norns Inquisitor. So we've got 4 bodies. We've got a few outs here now, I think. They can flip their Incubator token. Wow, so they have 4 colours. 4 colours. I haven't seen any fixing. Converter Beast Inga. Sunfall. It's a bit of a mismatch from the opponent. Can't really talk though, given the first 6 games how we played our deck, but yeah, I think Tandem Takedown would do it here as well, and Boonbringer Valkyrie would also do it. Opponent's got to be careful. But this 7/6 is a huge problem for them as well, because they can't really attack us. So, okay, wow, so they're going to incubate. So they can have 2 blockers. So I think Tandem Takedown just wins the game here on the spot now. So we've got 2 tandem takedowns. We've got Boom Bringer Valkyrie. Ren is really nice here. Is Ren just the win? So if we attack with everyone, they get the 5-5. Yeah, I think Ren just wins the game here. Because we can make a land a 3-3. If we make a land a 3-3, they block the 2-3. They block the 5. Let's say they have cut short. I think if they have cut short though, they would have played it already. I think if we make the land the 3-3, they can block 2 creatures. They can block 2 3-3s, they're dead. If they block a 3-3 and the 7-6, they're just dead. So I think it basically means they have to have cut short here is the only real out. I just don't think that they have it. I think they're leaving the mana to flip. Yeah, okay. So they don't have cut short. I think we just... Oh, that's an 8-8. But we still have the damage. We have exactly lethal. Managed to win through Sunfall, which is pretty sweet. Get the 6th win and join me in the next one where we go to play for day 2. Alrighty. Game number 9 here for all the marbles. This is a bit of an awkward keep, but it's a keep nonetheless. Timberland Ancient's a good one. Renata's a good one. Here I think we can just pitch the Fertilid's favour. Don't really think we care too much about that. The Zoomy Informant, such a strong card. I'll especially love it in sealed. But this hand is pretty resilient to 1 copy of it. If I have another copy, it's obviously not good. Corrupted Convictioning in Nizumi Informant is also very, very strong. Ikadrinka. So this is fine. I mean, this is the kind of hand where we just don't want to get put under pressure because we're going to go ahead and fetch a Forest here. We're going to play Renata next turn and then play like Kavu. Oh, wow. So Anafenza is a huge, huge problem. Something we definitely need to deal with. So it's going to bolster. Effectively, it will do what Renata does, but it bolsters their weakest creature. So every time they play a creature, they get to kill our Renata, and now they can pressure the battle as well. Can't block that. So now I think we just go ahead, maximize our mana efficiency here, and we just go and pick up the Renata. The fact that they all growled that means I think that it's a pretty big problem for them. If they go ahead and like Wildwood Escort can block both. I think there's some argument to playing the Knight of the New Coalition there, but wow, so they non-tokens. They've got 4 2/2s. Golden Scale Aeronaut. So they've got 2 cards in hand. I think we just want to play Renata. It makes Knight of the New Coalition really strong next turn. And if they can't deal with it, it allows us to keep up with this Anafenza. If they have a way to deal with it, it's obviously a bit of a problem for us. That's a problem for us. So now they get to bolster. They're probably just going to swing out here. So we can... I think we do want to just stop this from flipping here and just eat something. It forces them to attack next turn a little bit more. And we can... I think here we just want to make a 3/4 flyer. It blocks really well on this board. It forces them, if they want to flip the battle, to have something. They've probably got to like breach the multiverse here or something. Gloomfang Mauler. It's going to be pretty tough to win this one, I think. But we've won some tough games so far in this So let's not rule it out just yet. The 3-4 is going to do work on this board. The knights would be pretty good. I think if they attack with like more than... I'm just going to eat the creatures. I'm not going to trade the 3-3 here. I'm just going to eat the 3-4. Because like, now we can double block and trade and they still get it. Or we can just... Yeah, there's no real... I think there they probably should have just attacked with the 4-4 because it puts us in a pretty awkward spot. Like now they get the 3-3 as well. Flyer. So facing down a fairly strong board here. They should make their flyer a 4-4 here, not the Anafenza. Because they don't want to attack with Anafenza. It's just so busted. So Talia is a good one. Talia helps gum up this board pretty well. I think we just want to just play Talia and say go. Now like we're just really hoping to draw into our one of our two tandem takedowns. Can't block that one. We are going to have the reach to deal with this turn. I think we just have to leave back the 3-4 flyer at this point. We're not in a point where we can sort of turn the corner and slam the door shut. And like Talia just blocks the ground basically perfectly because anything they attack with, it just gets eaten. So they're probably, I mean, Anafenza is just a house at the moment. Really hard for us to deal with that. I think it's probably going to be the card that sort of wins this game. They've just gotten so much value off it in addition, and not having been able to kill it was super tough. Them also just having pretty sick answers for most of the stuff that we've done. Gotta hope that they just flood out from here is sort of the only answer. If we can get a land next turn as well. Wow, so sacrificing the Timoret. The more they do that, the better it is for us. Because we can trade Ancient for Grandfather Mother Ravi Senga here. I don't mind trading that at all. One of the worst draws for us. So I think we can actually just Sigiled Sentinel here onto Talia. Because it has First Strike and Death Touch. It's really hard for them to block anything with it. We get the extra land. Just whack them with that. And then now we can play Knight of the New Coalition and gun the board right up and play an extra land. Certainly going to be close, this one. Garuda is a big problem. So don't get anything from us. What did they hit? They hit Sword, Sworn, Cavalier, which comes in as a 5-3. So, yikes. So we can go Tiller of Flesh here. Play out the land. I think we just want to play Chomping Kavu and just put the counter on the Timberland Ancient. If we can find any way to kill Grandmother Ravi. Monastery Mentor, honestly, is like good on this board, but it's not amazing. I think what's really going to matter on this board is just who can deal with each other's opponents, each other's flyers first. So we can't sunder anything with this. Non-token artifact or enchantment. So I think we just have to ship. We don't. The 2/2 is meaningless on this board. So we can just pass the turn here. And it's really going to come down to if we can hit either a Baneslayer Angel or Alabaster Host Intercessor. Is a really nice one here. So we just get to take out the flyer. Wow, so they have the Vanquish the Weak. That's nice. Gotta say go again. And now we just hope we can still, like, we're still really just looking to draw Tandem Takedown. They can back up the Grandmother Ravi. Luckily we put the counter on the Timberland Ancient, but we're really just looking to draw Tandem Takedown here. 14 cards left. 2 of them are the takedowns. Swordsworn Cavalier comes down for us. We still don't have any attacks on this board. They have 11 cards left, so they will deck first. Okay. So now, I think we can just take down the Grandmother, get the Incubate token, and now we just start getting in the air. They don't have anything with reach. So all of our creatures are on the ground. We can just fly in over the top. If they can't deal with this huge flyer, we're every chance to win this game. I think we just hold back the Incubate token at this point as well. So Ren, normally I would just start milling here, but we're just going to uptick Ren and try and get it to the ultimate while continuing to attack, because it's going to force them, I think, into some potentially pretty bad attacks to try and stop it from getting the -7. And if they do that, then we will just kill them on the crackback. And also, like, if we get the 7, then we can -7 and get Alabaster Host here, which is pretty nice. There is also an argument to just starting to -2, but I actually think the decking is a real live win con here. And so if they flip here as well, that takes a turn off the clock. So yeah, like decking is just a very, very live way for us to win this game, given how gummed up this board is. And if we ever hit our Angel, this game's just pretty much over. Opponent's deck's really sweet, like Garuda, Monastery Mentor. They got some seriously good removal. Great package of Anafenza and a lot of good creatures with good abilities as well. Like, the backup creatures with Anafenza are just so strong because they back up the creature on the board to make it attack, and then they get a counter normally themselves. So I think opponent here is considering whether they need to just swing out here, but we've got them low enough that it's pretty awkward for them, and like Talia will just eat something, and we've got a pretty decent board state here. They can't really crack in. So now I think we do just want to get the emblem. Go ahead and play out Alabaster Host here. I think we just take out the... No, I don't actually think we want to take the Alabaster Host Intercessor out here, because what it does is it gives them the option to take Az out, and then they get the Az back and they kill our flyer, and so it's maybe more relevant to just take out the Anafenza. I think that's probably fine to just take Anafenza out. Oh wow, we can actually just play Realmbreaker. Oh wow, I didn't even wow. Realmbreaker is pretty obscene in that you can just play itself back out. Okay. So now, and now like when we mill, we can cast all the cards that we mill. So this is looking pretty good for us here. Just play out the creatures. Got 7, they've got 6. I think we still just want to keep upticking. We can play Kithkin. How many creatures do they have? They have 5, 10. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, I think they're just dead if we put everything on the battlefield now and then flip this. They're pretty dead, I think. It's a little bit risky to swing out. They might just decide to get frisky here and attack. I think, oh, Boombringer Valkyrie. This makes it a lot safer. I mean, we can just fly over the top here now. Just put it on the 7-6. And that's the game. Managed to win. Pretty sweet victory there. We get the 7 wins, which means we'll be drafting in day 2 of the arena. We'll be drafting for money, and we'll be sure to upload that draft as well. So leave a like and a comment below with what you thought of the deck and whether you thought the splashy build was a bit greedy. I think it probably was. What your favourite things about this sealed video were, whether you think there's anything I could have done better or players I could have made differently. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks very much.